Dynamite! How's it going, all you guys and girls in the Illumination? Time to jump aboard the Loon Train. It's me, it's JJD. JJ Double J, the Illuminator here.
The Sweet One.
Also known by almost countless other aliases and nicknames. But we won't get into that right now. A local restaurant from around here that anybody who's anybody knows of this restaurant because it's so popular. It's about 20-25 minutes away from where I live, but so many people have known this place because it's been around forever. It's called the Venus de Milo, and everyone just calls it the Venus. And it's a place that's been around, I think, since the 60s. But back in the day, they used to have a lot of weddings there and bigger type parties. They had these big halls that you could rent, and they had one of those removable walls in between, could turn the two big rooms into an even bigger room. My parents had their wedding party there, and that's what they had to do. There was so many people. Of course, families back then around here was so big, but it was also a restaurant on the other side. And as the years went on, I guess the son ended up taking over, and it was still, in the family, and it's still a great place. Maybe weddings got smaller, but people still always had good things to say about the Venus. Well, the pandemic has once again reared its ugly head when it comes to these business owners. And from what I'm understanding, I wanted to talk about this for a while, but I really didn't know what was going to happen because he's been trying like crazy to make a go of it and have a way of staying open. But it looks like the Venus de Milo is officially going to close its doors. The pandemic has hit it hard because they had to reimburse all of this money for people that were renting the halls for parties and Christmas parties and New Year's parties and you name it. I mean, that's just at the tip of the iceberg. It was still a big place that people had anniversary parties and weddings and everything like that. But, a year and a half of... It was the type of thing that was booked up. You needed to rent it. It was booked up for years in advance. And you got put on a waiting list if you wanted to... Maybe if someone had a cancellation, someone broke up and now they weren't going to get married. Well, there was, hey, if you want to get married for this weekend, we got something available. But I guess as the pandemic went on, it was harder and harder to stay afloat because of all that money they had to give back and people not being able to eat inside of restaurant settings and no real place to eat outside. So they were doing what they could with takeout business, and they have this Venus de Milo soup, which is kind of like a vegetable soup with meatballs in it or some type of a hamburger. And everyone knows about the Venus de Milo soup. And people used to go there all the time, even before the pandemic, to be able to get this stuff takeout. They would sell it in these little buckets, and really a unique place. And the soup tastes the same. I don't care if it was 1980 or 2018, it tasted the same. Well, they were trying to do as much as they could with, that type of thing, with people coming in for that. And it just officially, I guess, they can't stay afloat. So the last I had heard also, maybe not the last I heard, but long story short, back in May of last year, they were having a hard time getting people to come back to work. Now, I talked about this before. I don't know the ins and outs of every business, but I don't understand how people get called back to work, but yet can stay unemployed. They shouldn't be allowed to collect if their job calls them back. That's all. I mean, I don't know if that's the case with this, but anyway, the Venus de Milo apparently is either no more already or just about no more. And it's sad because this is happening all over the country. Now, 99.9% of you probably never heard of the Venus de Milo, but still, I'm sure everyone has some type of an idea of something similar that's happening to your favorite restaurant or business around you. And unfortunately, it's just happening more and more. Sad, really. But if you have a similar story, please put your comments below. I'm off to the races. I love you all. This is the Illuminator, and I'll be back.
Game over.
Actually, I decided to skip my first class to come over here and get some of this wonderful porridge. and it is very good. Very good.